Wonderful. Niajeni once more na karibuni back to Tuko Freshy, and this bado ni Gumzo Mtaani. Leo tukiwa hapa mtaa ya Buruburu. And of course we've been doing this from place to place. Tumekuwa tukienda from one place to another. Tulikuwa Kariobangi, tukakuwa Kawangware. The topic in Kawangware was a very hot one. Issues of health zilitokea pale hivyo, access, affordability and youth friendliness. Na vile vile pia tuka have same conversation na youth wa the residents of Kariobangi. The issue of water was such a serious one. Access to education and proper sanitation. But leo tukiwa hapa hivi Buruburu, first of all to thank the Kenya National Library for giving us this space tufanye hii session yetu hapa hivi. The big topic nataka kutackle hapa ni you have the skill, but where is the employment? Because you are told for this, if you have skills, then you can have employment. Remember, this is a conversation that is building up to the People's Dialogue Festivals that we are all looking forward to hosting on 6th to 9th of March 2024 at the Nairobi University, the Graduation Square. Karibuni wote, regardless of where you are coming from. It is a session for all. Karibuni sana. Niajeni wote? Mko aje? Mko freshi? Mko aje? Tuko fresh wote, si ndio? Sasa karibuni sana. This is the People's Dialogue edition hapa hivi na the edition ya Kariobangi, Gumzo Mtaani, ready for the conversation. And I hope mko sawa. Maybe on my right, on my left hapa hivi tuanze kutuambia ni nani na hapa tuko wapi, ndio watu wajue kabisa hapa ni wapi ukweli.
Hapa ni Buruburu, Kenya National Library. Okay. Sasa tumekuja hapa kuhusu mambo na Tuko Freshy. At least tuna discuss mambo ile na uzima youth na zile mambo kwa nini youth wana kwa blamed kwa kukosa kazi ama wako na talent lakini kazi hawajapata.
Sawa. Asante sana, to appreciate at least for starting us off. Have the microphone. I know you also wanted to share with us something. But this is also part of the people also pia want to saidia pia ku share out the information, ku mobilize watu wakuje to the library.
So hi, my name is Catherine and we are in Buruburu, Kenya National Library, and we are hosting Tuko Freshy. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana, to appreciate pia. Maybe to that corner pia tusikie sauti pale chap chap ndio session sasa ishike moto vizuri.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sorry. We are live from Kenya National Library. My name is Willie Bala. And the reason is we are sharing things, experiences as the youth, factors, things that are affecting us, why we're not getting employment, why we are having tough times in the economy of Kenya. And what are the solutions that we can give out so that we can find a suitable society for ourselves.
Asante sana. We've been reminded time and again that young people in Kenya or just Kenyans in general, watu wako kwa technology, watu wako online, watu wanakuwa different skills, kuna TVET, kuna TTC, kuna universities. With all these skills acquired, why is it that bado young people cannot access job opportunities or employment opportunities? Why is the problem? The question tunajiuliza, shida ni tulaumu vijana wenyewe ama there are some other factors zenye zinaweza kuwa bigger than kulaumu vijana wenyewe? On my right, we have the gang yenye nasema vijana acha pia wachunguzwe vizuri, watuambie sababu gani ni gani na gani, si ndio? Sijui nani angetaka kutuanzishia hapa hiyo hasira na vita yetu sasa as we start the dialogue session. Songesha mic karibu.
Actually, I think we as the youth, unajua you cannot become atumeka under your father's household until you are like 35 years and you say ati hakuna job. You know, it's not a good thing, it's not a good show. So actually when you have a talent or a skill, I think it's a good stepping stone that you have some foundation that you can start from somewhere. The situation is that the youth of nowadays, tunaitonga Gen Z, we tend to give up so mapema. Tuna give up, you go for maybe 5 interviews, then unaambiwa no, umepata mse yako na masters, ameitwa job, you give up. So you just start unakaa tu kwa nyumba, you don't do anything. You don't go about the situation, you don't circle back. But when you have like our distinguished photographer here, he has a skill.
Tumia mic, songesha mic karibu.
There's a skill which Sundays unaonanga watu in town, they're taking photographs, and actually at the end of the day you have something to put in your pocket. Yeah, so you can't really blame on unemployment and you have a skill. Currently the situation, the economy now, you anyone atakwambia when you have a skill you can be able to kujikimu. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa sawa, na pia ametaja photographer, akaambia photographer atafute kazi, si ndio? Asante, tumu appreciate. That's a very good way to start. I hope hii kazi photographer anafanya na lipo anyway, si ndio? Aya, tusikie from this other side, maybe any counter to that. Aya, ndio hiyo hapa.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Okay, to counter what he has said, he says that we have the skills but we don't know how to look for the work. Now the problem is, yes, ume study something like maybe you've taken a course, but when you go out there unashindwa kupata kazi. Why? Maybe the course you took, the structure, the education structure, I could prepare to become job ready. You become ready for the job market. Unapata ukitoka nje wanakuitisha kitu hauna. So meaning me unaona problem si youth, problem ni the way the education structure is set. I prepare youth to be job ready for your market. Yeah.
Someone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Derek. So what I'd like to counter from what my counterpart has said is, personally, I think every situation trickles down from the top. So, for example, let's say how the government are imposing their taxes in a trickle down in a way that even for employers, they have to cut down on cost. And a major cost is a labor cost. So it becomes more difficult for the young and upcoming to get a job opportunity, since first of all, we are not ready for that job. And second of all, we cannot compete with the more people who may, let's say they have more experience in a certain job.
Okay, so.
Okay, for me personally, first I like to counter what my fellow said. Yes, the education structure has not like kind of equipped us to get into the job market, but as much as we are not equipped, there's no way you'll ever depend fully on education. You'll have to go out of your way. The problem with young people today is they are too complacent. They need to get out of their way and look. They have the skills, yes, but they don't want to go that extra mile and find something to do. So they prefer to just sit back and find the easy way out. That's the main issue. They want the easy way out. They don't want to go to their way. So I don't think we are blaming. The bigger blame should be on the younger people other than the other factors. Yes, other factors are there, but young people need to go out of their way.
Young people need to go out of their way. Kuna English ingine hapo umetumia maybe for yule tunataka kila mtu watch hapo hivi atuelewe. Ulisema compla? Unaweza tuambia tu maybe kwa lugha nyingine, yani yenye wananchi wataelewa vizuri. Okay,
let me let's say lazy. In layman's terms. Yeah, lazy. I'd say lazy.
Haya, sawa sawa. Nyi wote mmejisikia, to appreciate. This side ni kama mmeanza kulemewa because after points mbili tu ni kama mmeanza kufikiria mvuke flow ama msivuke. Pitisha microphone pale.
This is Julius again in support of my sister there regarding the laziness of the youth. Take for example, we have a construction site that is about to begin at this place, and in the neighborhood there lives a youth who is a painter. Let's say a painter. And you know that painting comes at the end of any construction. Then we find that maybe we have vacancies regarding wanaviparua on the side of bricklaying. The youth will just stay in the house waiting for his job that he knows about painting. And maybe the construction site will take, let's say, 2 years. So it will become very hard for the youth to survive just waiting for his painting work. So the youth should just roll up their sleeves and do anything that comes up.
What is this anything? Anything inasema tuna.
Anything, as I've said, kuwa mtu wa kibarua hata kama kwa mjengo. Ukingoja hiyo painting wake akikuja, it will help him to get in touch na watu wenye wamesimamia hiyo site, wamjue hata hiyo kazi ya painting kupata itakuwa rahisi kwake.
Let me throw this question back to nyinyi watu. Si huo ni mtu wenyu na ni kama mnamsupport, si ndio? Saizi umeenda shule ukasoma law, umefanya engineering, umefanya medicine, alafu utoke uambiwe kazi ni kazi, fanya tu kitu yote kwa barabara, utakuwa sawa? Hebu tusikie ujamaa hapa. Wewe mwenyewe utafanya ama hizi tu vitu mnaambia tu mayouth wafanye?
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Martin again. First of all, we need to understand what exactly is education, because education is the ability to acquire knowledge or being imparted with knowledge. And also at the end of that, you are able now to develop reasoning and judgment. So after now, education is just your ability now to reason and judge for yourself for situations. So for now, you are asking about law. How many units do we do for us to graduate to become a lawyer? Several, right? More than 48 units. So in those units, you are not just doing one general unit that will propel you to your career. There are so many other units. For example, someone who had studied in IR, for example, international relations and diplomacy. So we study even entrepreneurship. We study communication skills there. We study even college algebra in terms of statistics and all that. So it doesn't mean, I think our problem is that we are having that job in mind. There's a job we are seeing. So if I don't get that, if I don't work in that AG's office, if I don't work in that ODPP's office, then it means that my education is useless. But actually, the purpose of education was just for you now to know that you have the ability to use that to acquire knowledge and to develop reasoning and judgment to use now that knowledge to get that whatever you want to do. So it's just actually when they ask for, nowadays they have changed the tactic. No longer just about the course you did. As long as you did a 4-year course, now they believe that you have the mastery and you have the resilience and the ability to acquire knowledge and even to do something for quite some time. So that's the reason why they can hire you. Yeah.
But now then, maybe just back to your side, because now ni kama bado wako already. Yes. What is the purpose ya kuchagua course basi? Sasa nawatetea vijana, but nauliza tu, there's a reason as to why by the time umefanya form 4, si ndio? Ulichagua mimi nataka kufanya hii course, mimi nataka kufanya hii course. Mbona uifanye then huku nje sasa kazi ikuwe ni kazi yoyote tu bora ufanye? That is where we draw the line sasa.
No, that's where we are taught the entrepreneurial skills, so that you can create your own business. It's not a must to get that employment. As the way he has said, you cannot get that job at the AG's office or whatever. So if you're given that entrepreneurial skill, you are a lawyer, why don't you start setting up your own firm? When you win 2 cases on that, that's how you start becoming popular. You gain customers, clients. When you have an established clientele, then off you go.
Yeah, so I'm going to counter what all of you have said. So we are the Gen Zs, right? We have an upcoming generation, that's the Gen X and others. So they're going to meet this one day, one time. And whatever you are trying to bring out is compromise over education. You don't need education. Just go out there, whatever they offer, you take it. See, and whatever you're trying to build is you're widening that crack, because now you're choosing that skill over education. We have to grow tukiambiwa go to school, get a degree. But what you guys are trying to tell us is go to school, get a degree, and choose any job that comes your way. No, you're killing passion. You're killing whatever. We were discussing something about the national anthem, and kuna hii part inasema building up your country. Will you build your country without that education? We have to go back to the foundation. We have to, because whatever you guys are trying to say is, you just read, go to school, get your degree, get your master's, get your PhD, and when you come outside here, ati kwa ground vitu ni different. So pick whatever, just pick whatever and do life as it is. Yeah.
Maybe before you counter, naona mikono mingi sana. Niwapatie chances tatu mjitetee. Mkatuingiza kwa hii shida sasa haya.
Yes, my name is Stephen Saoke, and I would like to say that want to challenge our education system for you guys. So for us, I think that our education system is much theoretical than practical. So this thereby cannot able to prepare us for the future upcomings. And again, having the skills and knowledge, and when there is no stable environment for you to apply those skills, is useless. So that's my point.
Just on that point, bado tumkiwaise nikiwa tuisaidia nitakuja kwa hawa watu hawa wajanja naona sana hapa. So this question of education system yetu is not preparing us ready for job. The first point ilitoka hapo bado ilisema about readiness ya jobs, ndio. Sasa ni nini hii yenye ionyeshwe ama nini yenye ifundishwe yenye mnataka ifundishwe? We keep on saying it is theoretical, it is not practical. Ni nini mnataka? How practical do you want it to be? Mm-hmm.
On the practicability part, I can say practicability is more about experience. So kama there's a certain way one is a structure hiyo system so that hata kama for example ukimaliza ama bado ukiwa shule unaweza toka uende interact kwa industry uone how things work. Hiyo ni one. Another thing, kukuwe na like a centralized system kama job bank for example, yenye ukiwa for example umemaliza shule umefanya kitu fulani, you have a certain set of skills. Si lazima uhangaike kutafuta kazi ukitembea from one office to another. Iko tu ni system yenye automatically ina connect na your suitable employer based on what you have or based on what you know. Yeah.
Sasa hapo ndio utasema youth are lazy. Mnataka tumalize kazi ati mkitulia tu mna connectiwa tu na jobs, ndio?
Sasa hii swali yetu so I would like to say concerning this matter, the youth are lazy, and I'll qualify my statement in the sense that ukitoka shule and you've
usiseme kwa uoga if you mean it, iseme tu na
ni vile sauti yako inakuja ikipotea pole. So what I mean is ukitoka shule kama youth, you have your degree, you have your bachelor's, you have your dip, uko na kenye uko nayo, si ndio? So you should be able to, listen to me, you should be able to use whatever knowledge you've acquired to do something of substance with yourself. Because upon what we're saying is the donkey's back imevunjika, mgongo ya punda imevunjika. We have to get to the market. Are we going to stay where our cat is, mboga zioze, ama tutachukua hiyo mkokoteni tuifikishe kwenye tunafaa kuenda? We are not defending the structure, but we are all in agreement. The structure is broken. Now you have two options. You can keep saying the structure is broken and crying after the structure, saying, oh, or you can try. Go out there, find what you can. And by what you can, I don't mean that you choose something that you yourself think is beneath you. So, I'm not asking you to devalue yourself. Find what you can and then you do it properly. Sindio, that's what I'm advocating for.
Okay, sawa.
Let me start with what she said earlier, that it's more of acquiring skills than even the education itself. So you are differentiating between two things, skills and education. And again, my brother there said that issues of education structure, systems and all that. At what point did you realize that the structure is not working? At what point did you realize that the structure is not good? And if you realize that was the power of the education you were given, that now you are in that year of your education, you have already realized this system is messed up. Yeah. So now you think beyond that and say, because this is what is being needed, they usually say, if you can't beat them, at least join them. So we join them by getting that degree. So at least we can get an upper hand in the job search. But again, we know this thing is not helping us. So we already have it because now you have the education and the ability to reason and to know that this thing is not going to help me. So, and that is the reason why I hope you are aware of CBC right now. They have already realized that the system is not working. It's not going on well. And that is the reason why they are centered on skills. So, because the power we have right now is to know that the system might not be working, but now we go backwards and say, what then can we do? That is the reason why they're coming up with CBC, skills-centered, and rather than just a results-oriented kind of education system and performance-based.
Appreciate. Now that umetaja the word CBC, kuna siku nilikuwa I think Siaya nyumbani nikapatana with one of my grandmothers at the country. Nikamuuliza, unajua system ya masomo imebadilika? Akaniambia nikamwambia ulijua aje? Ataona watoto wanavaa gunia. Sasa yani that is how people used to define CBC. So unaona ile mara ya kwanza, watoto wanavaa gunia wanatembea. Watu wangapi waliona hiyo kitu? Lakini ndio imeanza kutustrike. Kwani hao watoto wanasoma aje? Wanavaa gunia, wanasafisha mtaa, nini. Okay, fine. You're saying something?
Yeah, you have just countered yourself. This is what I've said, and I'm going to quote it again. You want to compromise whatever you have used. E group imetumia a term yenye nitasema to do anything. And nikasema hivi, after this, what foundation are you building? Because we are not only thinking about ourselves. We have a generation that will come after us. So whatever you've counted yourself. And this is what you've said. You've said that you are advocating now for skills. Umeachana now that the youths are lazy. Umesha toka huko. You are talking about education systems.
Pole navuka. Pole nakuja sasa.
Ameongelelea ama niko wrong?
Acha tu watajitetea. Hapana, maliza tu, tutawakujia.
Guys, that's ameongelelea nini education, akasema if you cannot beat them, you do what? You join them. Now, you have counted yourself. No, umekuja hii side. Tumesema we have structures and foundations that we are going to build. We are not going to stand here and say the youths are lazy. No. And you're not going to join people who are saying at the old systems of education and whatnot. No, we are going to fix those cracks. We're not going to sit down and blame people. No, we are not here to point fingers. We are going to come up with excellent structures that are going to build our education systems and fix those cracks. Yeah.
Sawa. Tumu-appreciate. Msiogope, mtu akiwapatia point imeingia kwa tumbo yenu, mnampigia tu makofi tafadhali. Msiogope tafadhali. Sawa.
Mr. Opondo.
Yes.
Let me.
Ndio ni jina kubwa, Mr. Opondo. Sawa, Opondo. Tuendelee.
Mimi nabaki tu kwa Irene. So nataka kwa nini ustudy basi? Kwa nini uteki course kama unajua utadrop ufanye kitu kingine? Sasa kwa nini tunaambiwa to choose a course? Kwa nini? Now follow your ways. Passion on that passion. Kama mimi nilido HR na IT, lakini na follow on that passion. Nataka kazi on that passion. Ni heri ujitume angalau ungoje ile yako. At least you don't lack any money.
Sawa. Okay, sawa, tumu-appreciate. Sawa, shachukua microphone. Inakuja. Usijali. Hakuna corruption hapa. It is democracy. Hapana, inakuja. Ikirudi side itakuja, I promise inakam.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muturi. Kuna kitu nataka kusemaje? Okay, hata kama tuna blame youth, hatufai ku blame youth. Okay, umesomea kama teacher. Lakini unakuta at the end of the day, huyo mtu anafanya kazi ya secretary ama anafanya kazi ya kama kazi kama ya nurse na CAC nurse, unaona? Sasa unakuta hiyo kitu pia system ya government imekuwa haiko poa. Juu unakuta zile vitu system ya government tangu 1963 bado ndio inaendelea hadi saa hii. Badala tu upgrade, yani tusikuwe tunadai na agriculture peke yake. Juu unakuta kama hii Kenya saa hii system yake inadai na government inadai sana na agriculture. Kwani sisi tutakuwa tuna nini na agriculture peke yake? Tunafaa tu mobilize youth at least tujue nani yani benye industry zitakreatiwa, at least kila mtu atapata skills ama atapata mahali, unaona, ile unajua ukifanya course fulani, tuseme ni industrialization ama mechanic kama ingine, at least ukifanya kazi yako ile uko passion nayo utaifanya vizuri. Utaifanya vizuri. Lakini sasa hiyo kusema ati uchuzi ile kazi unataka, that's wrong, unaona? Sasa ningetaka kuambiaje pia system ya government, hata kama ni hizi TVETs na zile education ni system wanafanya, wa create wakuwe na more at least youth akimaliza kama ni TVET, kama ni college, akuwe kuna mahali anaweza kuwa fixed. Si kuambia mtu ati umesomea hapa nurses ama umesomea doctor unaenda kulima kule nini shambani. Sasa ukienda kumpea kulima shambani na ile passion alikuwa anataka kudumia public ama unduma kwa nini kwa watu, utakuta hata kwa hiyo agriculture hatafanya vizuri. Naona atakuwa naona yenyewe nilisoma hii masomo na inisaidii. Wengine unakuta hata government inasomesha watu wanaenda majuu ama wanaenda nchi za ng'ambo kwenda kutafuta kazi huko. Sasa tukitafutiwa kazi na huko nchi za ng'ambo, tutajisaidiaje? Na huku ndiko tunafaa kukuza huku. Hiyo ni challenge moja inaleta shida.
Simumpigie makofi, ni mtu wenyu, mu-appreciate tu, sawa? Unajua kitambo mtu alikuwa ananiambia ukitaka kupata job in Kenya ukue unique, si ndio? Soma yani kitu yenye watu wengine hawajasomea. Nikajichallenge siku moja nitaanza tu niende kufundishwa kuendesha train. Sasa nilikuwa najiuliza nikijua kuendesha train, kuna reli ngapi Kenya na madereva wa train wangapi? Unajua kuna vitu zingine hata pia unasoma unajiuliza hii mambo ya kufanya tu any course. Juzi pia nilikuwa na have a conversation with a friend of mine. Do you think also there are some instances zenye tunafanya courses fulani because wazazi ndio wanataka, alafu baadaye unagundua hata hutaki hata kazi nayo? Do you think it's also an issue? Is it an issue ni ya hawa ama hiyo issue sasa ni nyinyi ndio mnafaa kuidefend? Hiyo ni issue yenyu ama ni issue yao wengine? Unajua hawa watu hata yani hawana hata shida na masomo. Wanasema wewe soma, hata kama unataka kwenda kwa space, soma space urudi upaint. Soma space urudi oshe barabara.
Okay, first, I'd like to counter this. He said that youth don't have like places to go like practice their skill. What's the purpose of internship in universities? There's internship. That's okay. For the few months you're given that internship, that should give you like basic knowledge to acquire what you're needed in the job market. Because how to end an internship, like, see, you know, like you go apply the skills you've been learning through the study life. Then again, for the youth, but we're not blaming the youth. We are pointing out issues that need to be addressed by the youths themselves. So, I'm talking about she said about go get the degree. We're not saying go get the degree. That's another point where we feel like we go choose a cause, not because we are passionate about it, not because we want to do it, but because we have this fixed mindset. Most youth, we need a white collar job. Na hapo ndio tunakosea. You go, let's say you'll get the degree, but since you have no passion in it, you won't be able to like how to acquire that urge to go out to look for a job. Then another thing is, I have a case. There's a class I was in. It was on graphic design. People, their job opportunities are sent, but the youth who are in there, they don't want to apply for the jobs. They want people to come for them. It's up to you to go out of your way. I'll emphasize on that. Go out of your way. Then the skills, we have so many. I feel like there are so many market gaps that we need to tap into. Yes, it seems like there are no opportunities, but I really feel like there are so many resources, there are so many gaps that we need to get out of our way and tap into them and use the skills you have acquired in Shule. See, you won't only learn about your course, as they've said. There are many like common, like the basic, what is it called? Units. Entrepreneurship, business, communication, leadership. You need to use those units in umesomea hapo, like use them to acquire like other opportunities. I'm not saying you just go get the degree, but get the degree with a purpose.
Okay. Sawa.
Let me address something. This is just a point. But what about innovation, my guys? What about innovation, entrepreneurship? Ama sisi wote tunataka kwenda kwa ofisi kufanya kazi. You see, sadly, society is not structured like that. The majority of the people will never have white collar jobs, by the way. I'm just telling you the truth. There is no society in the world that is like that. None. America, Canada, these developed countries, none of them are like that. There's a way society is structured. So tunaanzianga huku chini tunasema what we need first, we need wakulima because we need to eat. That's the first thing we address. So we make sure in a country tunasema, do we have enough food? Tuko na chakula yenye imetosha? Tukitoka kwa chakula, then we go to these more privileged jobs that don't really, they serve to make our lives easier. So we have insurance, the service industry, the tourism industry, the music industry. But all of these things are etched onto the more base jobs that my generation sadly wants to avoid. Tunataka tukue madaktari si wote, we all want to be lecturers, we want to be engineers, but sasa how many projects are being carried out in Kenya that need that many engineers? How many new campuses are we building in Kenya? How many new hospitals are we building in Kenya? How many new pharmacists are we building in Kenya? How many new things do we build in Kenya that require crisp new professionals? Mind you, there are already people who are doing what you're doing. Sindio, see it in your home, invent your career, unaenda kufanya wa kwanza. So there are people who are there. What happens to those people then? And since the age for inaitangwaje? Going home, siliongezewa, was it 60 to 65? I think hawajapitisha hapo, sindio? So you're working ideally from about, let me be conservative, from 30 to 35 years to 65 years. That is 35 years. In 35 years, how many people graduate? Uko umeshikilia hiyo job? So hii space yenye mnatafuta, nani ana create? I'd like to ask you guys, nani ana create? Maze?
Mmeulizwa swali. Mmeipata?
Can I rephrase? Niulize tena. Hii space yenye mnatafuta, because sisi had to blame the youth, but we are saying the structure is broken and we are pointing out how it's broken. You're saying you'll fix it. So how will you clear out someone who wants to work for 35 years? How many graduates do we have in 35 years? 35 classes, assuming the university graduates once. That is a university peke yake, sindio? So that's UN and like 10 major campuses. Alafu tuchukue hizi courses at TVET, the shorter courses, they graduate more frequently. So where are these places coming from, watu wangu?
Okay. Good question. Hapo tajibu. Let me move to the next person hapa. But also just remind kila mtu mwenye na watch, regardless ya penye natupata, whether unasikiza muna watch, hii conversation yote is a build up to what we call the People's Dialogue Festival. Ina happen from 6th to March. Now, of course, nawakaribisha wote nyinyi wenye mko hapa hivi mkam tuendelee this kind of conversations pale. Tulisema form ni? Form ni? Dialogue. Si tuseme tu kwa sauti, form ni?
Dialogue.
Yeah, form ni dialogue because it is time sasa imefika as Kenyans tuna feel let's just sit down and talk out our issues. Tumechoka hii vurugu mingi na nini. If we can just sit down na tuseme Mr. President buka pale. Hii kompyuta tunafinya na job inatoka na dola zinaingia mfukoni ziko wapi? Ndio dola pia imeanza kushuka, si ndio? So kama ule ani ile lazima mnasikia now sell your dollars again, si ndio? But I mean, hizi conversations zenye wanasema ziko wapi? Hizi opportunities zenye wanasema that there's money in climate change, there's money in conservation, there's money. In fact, young people have been reminded time and again there's money in the soil. Young people get into agriculture, get into farming, get into wapi. That is the question tunajiuliza. And of course, let's come together at the Nairobi University graduation square and have these conversations together with our leaders na wananchi wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Bro, go on.
Yeah, just to ensure that at least we maintain our point that laziness does not just start immediately after finishing school. Yeah, it's something that had started even before you graduated. Because sometimes most of us as young people, we are just in school to ensure that we pass those units, to ensure that we have ticked the box. So we end up getting a challenge now after graduation. We just have a piece of paper without no skill, without maybe now the necessary application of the knowledge that you gained. So you find someone that, yes, you have graduated, but you cannot even apply the same knowledge you are claiming to have gained from school. So you find someone, for example, graduated with accounts, maybe specialized in account, but that person cannot even operate basic accountings. So you find the reason why we want government to give us jobs is that sometimes as young people, we are not confident of what we know. So you find someone is not even confident enough to go even to private farms. You know, the one thing about private farms and these parastatals and all that, if you know nothing, they can't hire you. So that's the reason why they hire those people who know their craft, those people who know their thing. So unfortunately, for government, sorry to say, but they don't necessarily pick on merit and competence that much. So, because now you find someone, a young person, the person has a degree, but he or she cannot apply that same knowledge. So you find out it's very hard for that person to go and look for those jobs. He sees a job in advertised, but now hata yeye mwenyewe anajua hii siwezi. And another thing is that my brother here said issues of we can't go abroad. We are supposed to work here. My brother, right now, we are living in a globalized village. Like the world is becoming a global village. Yeah, we are living in globalization era, where now there is what we call remittance. Yeah, Egypt and Nigeria are now number one in terms of remittances globally, giving back to their country and building their country. So if you are talking of an issue of I can only get a job here in Kenya, then there's a problem there. Because the reason why you can be in Kenya today, tomorrow you are in another country. So let's not be too much localized in our thinking and even in our looking for opportunities. So I think so let's not just limit ourselves.
If I may ask, hapa tu ndani tu randomly, what are some of the basic skills, tuachane sana the courses that is the long-term courses nenda kusoma in the university, what are some of the skills that a modern young person anafaa tu kuwa nazo at hand? Some of the basics. Mnakumbuka the days when you were young, kulikuwa na kitu kama, sijui kama nani pia alipitia hii process, ukimaliza form 4, unaenda kufanya computer. Siku hizi si ni kama imeanza kuwa integrated ndani ya shule, si ndio? Alafu mnakumbuka zile enzi zenye, I remember niliwahi funguliwa by the first time kufungua Facebook account yangu. Nililipa mtu na huyo jamaa ndanganyanga atanileta the birth certificate. Ati kwa cyber, because you know the things that yani some few people wakijuanga vitu wanaanza kukudanganya, leta birth certificate sijui nini. Alafu baadaye nikaona tu jamaa amekaa tu pale alafu akaniambia ati come after 3 hours. Na nikajiuliza nini alikuwa anafungua. But now in short I'm just asking, what are some of the basic skills that nowadays as a young person you just need to have? Si vitu lazima tu uende usome. Let me hear from zile sauti tujasikia hapa. Sasa wewe nitakumute kidogo bro, nitakumute. Let me hear from watu wengine. Let's see if tutafanya vile nilisema. Some of these skills are these modern ones that you just need to have at hand. Ni skills kama gani? Yes.
For me, my name is Dorcas. Some of the skills that you need to have mostly is communication skills. In each and everything that you do, we are humans and we communicate to each other. It's a means that the way you convey information really matters. Yeah.
Yes, I can think it is marketing skills, driving, and having agricultural skills as well can help you go far. Yes. Why am I saying marketing skills? Because right now, I think there's so much job opportunity circulating within the market, all about marketing. So you can't miss a job there.
The other skill I wanted to say is computer skills. Actually, is one of the most upcoming skills, because as the job market is integrating, people are more inclined to take up remote jobs. You can be here as like an engineer, but you can design a structure in, let's say like China, and you are here. So even hata kama pia tuseme uko hapa home, pia unaweza jibuild, yani you can build your computer skills to enable you do the work from here. So si lazima uende huko nje, uende abroad. The skills are also coming. So si lazima utembee. Yeah.
Maybe even as I give this microphone to my friend hapa Oduho, nda pass the same question to Madam Karo, because pia ana had a very important docket hapa. Najua library offers a lot of opportunities, ndio? Are there some of the skills that library says pia napeana to the youth of these communities? Zile skills that kama library mnaangalia mnasema these are very important and young people must have them. Karo?
Thank you. The skill that I believe young people should have, surely it is critical thinking. I am of the school of thought that young people are not lazy, but they're intellectually lazy. A young person can binge watch a series or whatever the case is for a full weekend, but there are courses, free courses on YouTube offered by Ivy League institutions that anyone can take their time and learn a new skill. But young people are intellectually lazy. They do not want to do this. That therefore, the issue of critical thinking, it is that if people can critically think, therefore they will not find themselves kwa rally wakisikia mwanasiasa fulani akiwapa fikra zao vile nchi inafaa iwe. They will be able to think for themselves how the country ought to be na wasibebwe ujinga. So if there's any one skill that young people need to have, it is critical thinking. But how do you acquire this skill? You must hunger and thirst for knowledge. Ni lazima usome. So young people should stop being intellectually lazy.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Maybe what I can say is that at Kenya National Library Service, for example, we usually advertise so many tenders, and youth are considered because we are usually told that there is AGPO registration. So youth and women are usually considered a lot. So the many tenders that are usually advertised and they are available in our website, it encourages youth. If you acquire entrepreneurship skills in college, like what Martin said, you can as well do something. And keep a watch in our website. When you see something you can apply. Even other government ministries and institutions, they advertise tenders online. So if you can do something, you can do a small registration, you can register something, and you can also be supplying. Youth are considered by the government of Kenya. You are being considered as youth of this nation. Yeah. Thank you.
Hata before kai chini rudi tu. Karo rudi tu kidogo kabla nipetishe mic. Nimeona hapa hivi around the library tukiangalia tunaona mara knitting, mara wapi. Siku hizi naona most libraries wanapata computer services wanapeana for free. Kuna vitu kama hata baking skills, ndio, knitting nini. At these things zenye unaweza sema size to a modern young person are very important and inaweza patia mtu wings to fly kama Equity.
Yes, at the moment actually there is a class ongoing, computer class, basic ICT skills. The library is offering those skills for free. So if in case, for example, you do not have those skills, let's say digital literacy, you are not a digital literate person, the Kenya National Library Service is offering those packages for free, not only here at Buruburu, but also in our Upper Hill facility. That's our headquarters. We usually advertise, we usually publicize these trainings when they're there. We publicize in the social media, and we also have some posters in strategic places. So as Kenya National Library Service, we want to support youth in one way or another. And you see, even those free classes, you find youth are not even bothered. Some are not even bothered to come and acquire those skills. And we are there to support so that you can be able to do something. You can be able to do something online, because nowadays there are so many jobs online that you can do online. You can just sit in your at home or wherever you are, provided you have maybe internet connectivity. And even here in the library, we have free Wi-Fi. We have free Wi-Fi. You can come and do something. If you are lacking skills, we are providing those skills for free. You can come. At the moment, we have 20 youth around Buruburu who are undertaking those ICT skills here. And at our Upper Hill, I think a group graduated, and there is also another group ongoing. So there are so many things that you can do. Yes, we do. We offer cookery classes. We have a kitchen here where we invite specialists in cooking who can come and train youth and anyone who is in need of these skills. And once you acquire those skills, you can do something outside there as you wait to be employed. in the right place. Like Martin said, if you're a lawyer, maybe. So if, for example, as you wait to be employed, as you wait to get a formal employment, you can acquire these skills and start doing something to make heads meet, instead of you just sitting in the house watching TV. Your parents get out, they go to work, and they come, they get you in the house, unangoja mkate saa 4 unakunywa na chai, you are just there. Also get out and do something. Get out and get empowered so that you can do something.
Asante sana. Tumpige makofi mazito zaidi. Makofi serious. Aya, asante sana. Damaris.
Thank you, Opondo. So I belong to the school of thought that our education system is actually failing the youth the way it is structured at the moment, in the sense that we keep hearing from, like, I'll pick where Madam Carol has left us, do something. Our education system, the way it's structured right now, it's really focused on the theory and knowledge aspect. Okay, chini kwa class, you're taught A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. But to do something, it means it's action. It's really practical. And how can you do that? By going out there and doing it in real sense. Like, a good example or a good analogy would be, you cannot read yourself to learn how to ride a bicycle. You actually have to ride the bicycle so that you can learn how to, ride the bicycle. But if you're saying that you want to go for internship for 3 months, let me tell you for a fact that that does not do you anything. You cannot spend 3 years learning theory and think you can get the skills in just 3 months. That is not possible. That is not practical. When you go to these organizations, and I'm speaking as somebody who handles a lot of interns, those 3 months, by the time the 3 months is ending, is just when we finished introducing you to the organization. And by that time, you've really not, to be very honest, you've really not learned any skill. So how about the government say, for example, extend it to maybe a year, which can be broken down between those four years that you're in university. That maybe at the end of every semester, there's a place where you go for internship, because that is the practical bit of it. And that's why you're seeing a lot of technical universities are actually on the forefront right now in Kenya, because technical universities, their mode or approach of education is competency-based skills. That's where they begin. You're tagged to a craftsman, whether it's a plumber, yeye ndo anakufunza. You don't spend majority of your time in class learning theories. Theories are good. And then secondly, I liked what he said about the practical skills. They're essential skills that all of us need, regardless of the degree that you're studying. I'm surprised none of us said time management is very important, but that is one skill young people are lacking, time management. Here, you were told to come at 9. What time did you guys start showing up? Kama ingekuwa Opondo amesema if somebody was to come at 9 angempe job, I think all of us, you know where you'd have been. And that is a very important skill that you need to learn. Secondly, it's what he said, Odur, critical thinking. Critical thinking is, if you're presented with a problem, are you able to figure yourself out of it? I don't know why people think there's only one way, or our education system teaches us there's only one way to get to the ultimate solution. So that is a good starting point, but all the other things are valid in terms of what has been discussed, that, even the youth are our G2Me, etc. But I do believe even the government is recognizing that our education system is problematic, and that is why they are moving to CBC.
Thank you. Right, makofi. Leo tunasoma mambo mengi sana. Unajua, when we mention skill, I thought a lot anaanza kusema photography, video. Mnasikia hizo skills? Critical thinking, time management, intellectual nini pale nyuma. Sasa hata ile hadi tumeambiwa unaweza watch movie the whole weekend, lakini ukiambiwa sasa hebu pitie tu wiki kidogo, unasumbuliwa. Sasa wacha mambo mingi. Kimberly, karibu.
Sasa I've had the conversation, and so what I have to say is this: young people, actually, I blame myself. I'm also a young person, so I just say, young people, we are not doing what we ought to do. We're not, kabisa. It has come to a point where a young person cannot, and even volunteering nowadays is a problem. Our education system is okay, it's crappy, but our education system is very good. People who study in public universities have long holidays, like really long holidays. Is it 6 months or how long is it? They have a really long holiday, but what do they do during that long holiday? Why can't you go and volunteer at an organization? Why can't you say, okay, you know what? I actually even live closer to the school. Let me go talk to someone. I volunteer inside the school. Sio ni CV unajenga bado ama ujengi CV. Yo ni CV bado unajenga. We're so focused on waiting for someone to come and say, okay, kuja nimetafuta internship, shika enda ufanye pale. Ama kuja nimepata hii enda ufanye pale. Why is it that we are given so much time, but as Damaris has said, we don't know how to manage it? You're given a 6 months long holiday. What do? Oduho has said, we watch movies, we go out, tunaenda sherehe, tunaenda fanya nini, but we don't get what we ought to have. And that's a very huge problem. And you still expect someone from a private entity to come and employ you. That's a joke. That's a joke. Another thing, we always say government tupatie jobs. No matter why young people, we are so corrupted during campaigns. A politician anakuambia tawapatia kazi. Politician mgani atakupea kazi? I want to know, when did politicians start sitting in panels to interview young people to get jobs? They have never. That's how, you see, now they know where to tap into our minds, because they know generally we are going to wait for them to give us jobs. So hapo ndo wamejua kutukoroga, wanambia wa vijana tunawapea kazi, vijana finyeni laptop, vijana fanyeni. But young people, we don't know that actually Ruto does not have a job to give you. He doesn't. Uyu local MCA hana kazi ya kukupatia. Where do we get jobs? From the private sector. How are private sectors developed? Through us. Entrepreneurial skills. If you open your own small business, si utakuja uniite Kimbalebu kuja handle this side. Where Opondo shika hapa. Si tumesolve unemployment. But si tumekaa chini tumecross miguu, we're waiting for mbunge akuja kupatie kazi. Kama there was an issue of an actuarial scientist, alikuwa na complain ati hakuna kazi. Actuarial science, when you finish, you have to go you have to work in an insurance company or something. So now actuarial scientists wamegraduate wote wanangoja kwenda ku work in an insurance company. Au wenyewe, when they open their own firm where they are now doing consultancies for those insurance companies, won't we succeed? Mimi nataka kujua, si nyinyi ndio mlikuwa msema the problem is now on our side. Won't we be able to succeed? Why is it that we are wasting so much time complaining and saying, oh, the government, the education, the what? We will work with what we have. Work with what you have now and see the progress.
And the beauty about dialogue, and this is, you see this energy and this spirit, this is actually what we want to take to the Nairobi University Graduation Square on 6th to 9th of March. Let us take this same spirit and engage each other. I like the fact that sometimes you're also able to make a stop na tujiulize, before we blame our leaders, before we blame our parents, before we blame the heads of organization, what are we doing sisi as citizens? What are we doing sisi kama vijana wenyewe? Now that is the part that I want us to concentrate on. Do we have solutions to these problems? Do we have a solution to these problems? Can I hear big yes? Do we have a solution to these problems? Aya, sawa.
Demystify, reset, embrace, form ni dialogue. Again, demystify, reset, embrace, form ni dialogue.
Aya, asanteni sana. Let's have our seats. Sasa tufanye inaitwa the last lap ama ni home stretch sasa, si ndio? Tumevurugana hapa. Oh, kuna watu walifanya home stretch hapa ndani. The book. Ulifanya home stretch? Amazing. Mtu mwingine? Okay, sasa sisi ni generation tulizaliwa 1970 something, si ndio? Okay, sawa. So, we've raised the problems. Whether we choose to blame other factors which are bigger than the youth being lazy, or whether youth bado ndio atakuwa lazy ama nini itafanyika, the reality is that we are seated in this room courtesy of the Center for Multi-Party Democracy Kenya, and of course planning for the PDF, because we believe when we sit down and talk, we can have solutions to our problems. I want you just to pick randomly. We just want like about five, let's say maybe 5 to 10 solutions to pick the microphone, identify one issue and just tell us hiyo inaweza solviwa aje, then tumalize. Sawa. Chai inaweza poa sana ikuwe baadaye tujipate tunakunywa ice badala ya chai. So, straight to the point, tafadhali, usitake time, so tushajua the challenges ni gani. Tumezisikia zote. Tumesikia issues za education system, tumesikia lack of the practical bit of it, tumesikia sijui nani. So what is the solution? If you are to address leaders, whether you are pointing about leaders, whether about leadership, structure, practicability, what is the solution that we are talking about? Let me start with you.
Hi guys, I'm Stephanie Wanjiro. We have had the issues that we have been having.
Songesha mic, karibu.
Oh, yeah. So, especially when you have the connections and you know you have done such a career, at least it can help someone somewhere, and at least you communicate to them so that they can know what to do. And when you know some people at home or friends that are not working or doing anything, you can lift them up. At least you can do something when you have some money, or any organization, they can bring them up so that it can be more better on than just staying at home and doing nothing.
So the solution kwako ni tusaidiane kuconnect each other, si ndio?
Yeah,
hapa tu ndani yetu wenyewe kwa wenyewe. If you have a skill na unajua penye hiyo skill inahitajika na mtu mwingine, tafadhali connect it. We grow by tuna grow by supporting each other.
Yes.
Tumpatie makofi mazito, makofi. Hapo tu kwa hiyo laini. Is there any other solution to this gentleman?
Sorry, let's embrace this quote from J.F. Kennedy, one of the famous US presidents. He said that ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Yes.
Aklapiwe, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Asante sana. Another solution this side?
Guys, I'd ask for our government and the infrastructure available to make capital cheap. Cheap and capital. Manze, we've got land, we've got labor, we've got entrepreneurship, but sa capital ya kufund hizi vitu, in my opinion, the youths wanna lack sometimes. Sindio? You have a dream, you have an idea, but inaenda wapi bila capital, manze. So avail capital to us. Give us the money, put your trust in us, bank on us, buy our shares in our companies, and then let's see what we can do.
I think this should be a petition to be pushed. Okay, it's already in progress, but let's have a change of structure in the education system. It's in progress, but we need it to be more radical. And also, let's have a change of mindset. We need to be positive. We need to be critical thinkers. Let's be time conscious, and let's get out of our way. That's all I can say.
Asante sana, to appreciate. Wewe ni Bridget. Solutions this side. So now it is not about blame, nani mbaya, nani mpoa. Solutions. Sawa. Let's give to the lady, atujasikia sauti yake. Ukiona watu wamenyamaza uongea dakika za mwisho, anaweza ongea na tumalize session, si ndio?
Okay, my solution is to sema hizo ma skills za practical kwa colleges, universities. I think every institution inapaswa kuwa inafanya hizo vitu, like kama unafanya engineering unapaswa kuwa unafanya practically, ndio ukimaliza ukienda internship usikuwe na handship, because internship maybe ina take 3 months ama 6 months, and there after umemaliza ile nyingine unatafuta ni kazi. So ukiwa unafanya hizo ma skills in school alafu uende internship, it will be easy na ready ufanye kazi kwa market.
Yangu ni kuchallenge young people that the solution that we are looking for ni sisi wenyewe, na tutaendelea kungoja hiyo solution hadi ile siku tutarealize kitu. So for example, mimi nilikuja huko kama refugee, na nimepata fursa ya kutembea South Sudan, and there's one thing that young people should not do here, and it is to complain. If there's anyone who should complain, perhaps it is the youth of South Sudan who have been embattled with conflict, right? That here, Kenya, tuko na amani, right? Wazazi wangu walikimbia huku because kuna amani. That government creates an enabling environment. that upon government creating that enabling environment, it has done its part. The rest is on us. And just the way my brother said, while I may not agree with it entirely, it is true nonetheless that once government has created an enabling environment, therefore, what is it therefore that we can do as young people? Msikubali wanasiasa wawadanganye kuwa watawapea kazi. Ni kweli vile dadangu alisema hapo alia, politicians do not give you jobs. Government creates an enabling environment. It is entrepreneurs who create jobs. Therefore, tukitoka hapa hivi, my only hope is that one, we may acknowledge the privilege that we have here, kuwa there is no conflict. The country is at peace. That on top of that, it is incumbent upon us to acknowledge, just as my brother amesema, that the factors of production are four: land, labor, enterprise, and capital. On the issue of enterprise, it is incumbent upon us tujitolee tuende tufungue hizo makampuni zenye zitaajiri fellow young people. It is not about complaining. These are the cards that we have been dealt with. What can we do with our current situation? Thank you.
Okay. From what I've heard, most of the challenges that are being tackled are those that we can see. Mostly what people see. But me, I want to challenge the challenges we cannot see. For example, like the integrity of people. Let's be more open. Let's act with the integrity yani kila kitu tunafanya tukue na integrity, tukue na hiyo honesty. For example, kama ni mimi najua hii ni kitu iko government kila mwaka inatoanga pesa to challenge these challenges kama hii unemployment, vitu kama hizo. Inatoa do kujenga the various sectors ya economy ili youth wapata employment na economy iendelee. But sasa unapata do ifanye kazi yake, do inaenda kwa mfuko wa mtu ama do inaenda palifai. So inafai pia watu wakuwe open na una act with integrity. Then on the issue of corruption, hii yenyewe unasema unaenda tafuta kazi unanyimwa, watu wakiact na integrity watu wataaminiana, na watu wakiaminiana watu watakuwa open, kila mtu atakuwa anapata ile kitu anataka. Yeah, mimi ndio point yangu.
Alright, solution yote hapa hivi tukimalizia. Unajua mental health yetu saizi haitualao pia kudiscuss sana, si ndio?
Mimi ningesuggestaje kuna hizi technical skills kama plumbing, like construction, like mechanics. Hizo courses watu wengi wataki kusoma sana. Sasa mtu kama anaweza soma, na mtu kama ni course ili anachukua, usichukue course juu ati umeambiwa ama umeambiwa na mzazi ama umeambiwa na watu wengine tunafaa kufanya hii course. Juu most of the people unakuta mtu anaenda kwa course, wewe ukifika katikati unasema area hata ningechukua hii course. Yani at least hata kama tunasoma uko unaona ile kitu inaweza una create employment yako mwenyewe. Kama plumbing, hata kama hujaandikwa na Nairobi Water Company, unaweza kuja na uanzie plumbing yako kwa nini? Unaenda kwa construction sites na unaanza kufanya hiyo kazi. Pia kwa construction sector unaweza enda kwa hii China company limited, hizi China Ui ama inaitwaje? Hiyo at least ukiapply na ukiwa unajua kujenga, at least utapata kazi. Kama ni mechanic unaweza enda pia mwanzie pale garage pale hivyo. Mwanze kutengeneza hizi ndudi, mnaona mpaka mayouth hapa kwa ndudi unajua kama uko na hizo skills za hiyo utakosa kitu. Pia kitu kingine mimi ningesema pa mambo na education in government. Hii mambo ya kusema ngati kama hii CBC. Hiyo CBC ukienda kuangalia kama itakuja kuwa effective, ipe miaka ingine kama 30 hapo. Kama wale watu watakuja kusaidika na wenyewe. Lakini kwa nao unakuta government hata kama hiyo kuna hizo courses, unakuta kwa mashule hakuna hizo skills, hakuna hizo facilities za kuimplement hiyo system ya education. So si utaona itateka lot. Juu unakuta hata government ina struggle saa zingine kunini structure hizo kupatikana. Unakuta pia wazazi wenyewe hawezi provide hizo vitu. Juu kuna yani wamefinywa pia hata wenyewe. So mimi ningeomba tu si zote, wewe kama uko na mali unaweza yani uende na ile kitu uko na passion nayo, usikuwe influenced by somebody kufanya kitu na utaweza. Yeah.
Sawa sawa, asante. Makofi vizuri kwake. Nani hapa anachukua microphone wa mwisho? Mwenye point ya wonderful. Ni boys wetu hapa, our last bonus, ndio? Huyu sasa amesikiza kila kitu, akajua mnaongelea solutions zitamuaffect yeye, si ndio? Unajua hizo vitu tunaongelea hapa sasa ndio zitamuaffect akimaliza shule, eh?
Thank you because of this opportunity.
Wewe sasa atakuja wewe atakuja.
My name is Anthony Mugo. I lived in Kariobangi South. My school is Dr. Mwenje. I needed to say that in traditional African, mababu walikuwa wanapea watu wengine ma-advice venye wataka the skills. Sana wanaonanga wako na good skills in life, hawateseki. Yeah.
Sisi sasa tutakuwa mababu zenyu, si ndio? But you know what he means, si ndio? Yaani anamaanisha the older generation tukue wise na tupeane the right counsels. Kuna mtu hapa alisema anapenda, kuna passion yake ni mentorship. Ni nani yule? The lady alikuwa amekaa hapa saizi nyuma tu ametoka. But anyway ni sawa. Tujipigie makofi at least tuji appreciate. Right here from the Buruburu Library. Acha tuseme asante sana for everyone mwenye amekam. Asante sana to Center for Multi-Party Democracy for making this session possible. Lakini leo nataka tumalize in a very special way. Simesikia nikisema Gumzo Mtaani. Na nimesikia nikisema PDF. Sindio? Na pia nimesikia nikisema form ni dialogue. Sasa mimi nataka tutumie opportunity kwa pamoja. Tunajua tuko na watu energy imeshuka chini kidogo, but I want you to help me invite everyone kwa People's Dialogue Festival. Kwanza nyinyi wenyewe mtakuja? Mtakuja? You see these voices kama tunaweza tu come na tusonge tu pale hivyo, na unezi voices tuchukue tu tatu turushe kwa kila tent na mkuje pale na mseme sisi ni wale wa Buruburu na tulisema hivi na tunaisema hapa hivi pia leo. This is what we think should be done about education. This is what we believe should be done about job. Are you ready for this? No, are you ready for this? Can I hear a big yes? Aya, sawa sawa. Sasa nataka sasa mtusaidie kukaribisha watu, sawa? From the Buruburu community here at the Kenya National Library Service Buruburu branch. Form ni Buruburu, Gumzo Mtaani na Tuko. Asanteni sana. See you another time in another community, of course. Conversation inaendelea from one point to another. And of course, Kibra tunakuja next week. Tuonane. Asanteni sana.